It's really great to have you here. As a warm-up question, what is a productivity hack that you use?
Oh, a productivity hack that I use. Let's see. Well, honestly, it's such a simple answer, but it's getting enough sleep. There's nothing better than getting. I feel like for such a long time, people have been obsessed with grinding more hours, and every time I try to do that, I feel terrible. So getting plenty of sleep has helped a lot.
So what is a good amount of sleep for you, like in hours?
8.5 to 9 hours.
8.5?
Yeah.
And do you measure it?
I know. I'm not as quantified on that stuff. I feel like I do my best and move on from there.
Does it mean that you have an alarm or no?
I do an alarm every day.
Yeah.
And then I head half an hour to the office. And actually, the other thing is having the exact right amount of caffeine is really important. I found this one particular size of pre-made green tea that I have every morning. And if I have it's just exactly right to be sufficiently energetic but not too nervous.
Is your office in San Francisco?
It's in the southern part of San Francisco, and I live in the northern part. And we are militantly in office since the beginning of the company. And I think it's been so good for us.
What is your favorite book?
I really like all of Robert Caro's books. I don't know if you've read The Power Broker, about Robert Moses, who built a lot of the infrastructure of New York City and caused a lot of chaos and displaced a lot of communities along the way. Robert Caro has an amazing ability to spend years of his life writing books about people he despises. And it really comes through. So it's true for Power Broker, which is about Robert Moses, and also he did a multi-part series on Lyndon B. Johnson. And it kind of paints a super accurate portrait. And it's so dense that you're 2/3 of the way through book one, 300 pages in, and LBJ hasn't even been born yet. That's how intense it is. I really love that kind of long form stuff.
Moving on to the space of AI, how will AI change the way we interact with the computer or the world?
So what I'm really excited about AI on the positive side being able to do for us is, this is partially what we're working on, but we want to make it such that any human can just open a computer and type into the computer exactly what goals they have, and for the AI model to just handle that entire thing for them. So in the same way that a synthesizer enabled musicians to be able to not need to learn how to play every single instrument to get those sounds out, we want to do the same thing for human-computer interaction. I think that language is going to be the ultimate interface to computing, and it's going to be able to up-level everybody who may not know how to do a bunch of different things, or may not be the greatest knowledge worker in the world at X, to be able to just get to the absolute state of the art by just putting their goals into words.
Does it mean that a browser or something like a Spotlight or Raycast has the best shot at winning the interaction?
I think it's very possible. I think that the new interaction model, it's gonna blur the lines between a tool and a whole new operating system. But I think what it's gonna look like is it's gonna sit above all the things you already do every day and help you just coordinate and orchestrate between all the different software that you use.
You spent many years at OpenAI, many years at Google, and then you decided to found a company. So what was the biggest challenge in that transition?
Honestly, for me, what's been fascinating is sort of just learning about how to do everything else. I've been a research bureaucrat for a long time, and that's a particular set of skills. I think it's been really helpful because this era of AI is truly actually driven by technology and not by new clever ideas on go-to-market and stuff like that. And so it's been a good foundation, but absolutely, I think I'm learning everything else about the job.
Looking at the first years of OpenAI or Anthropic or yours, how do you think about being research heavy in the beginning versus for example, thinking about go-to-market, hiring commercial person very early on versus later on? So what are the trade-offs? What is good, what is not so good in founding a AI company in the beginning?
Well, I think first off, what we're doing is very different from what Anthropic and OpenAI are doing, which are more similar. Both of them are training giant models that they're offering as API services to people. And then I think ChatGPT is an amazing product that they've then built on top on the OpenAI side. For us, what we're doing is we're actually building something directly for humans to use. We want every knowledge worker to be able to pick up Adept and just roll with it. And so it's a very different shape of product, which then necessitates a very different kind of go-to-market. For us, the whole time that we've been thinking about it is we as a company exist to make a step change in technology and to make it possible for this kind of new way of using your computer to exist at all. And we know there's a lot of R&D involved, so we definitely started heavily on that. But at the same time, we also wanted to make sure that we understood what the true value to people would be, right? And that we could test that all along the way. We really think about ourselves not as a pure academic research lab, but really as a company looking to build something that people use every day and solving all the research problems that need to be solved along the way.
David, pick one. Asynchronous or synchronous communication?
Synchronous communication.
Tech team or commercial team?
Tech team.
Global or local?
Global.
Outdoors or indoors?
Outdoors.
IQ or high EQ?
EQ is the only thing that's going to matter in a couple years.
Amazing.
Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks everybody.